By show of hands, who knows the history of the last Tsar? Tsar Nicholas II was one of the most well-known leaders in our world's history. According to Dr. Jonathan Smley, uh, Tsar Nicholas II celebrated the Romanov rule in Russia's history. He and his dynasty ruled over the empire stretching from Central Europe to the Pacific Ocean and from the Arctic to Afghanistan. Though the man came from a family that ruled Russia's government for 300 years, Tsar Nicholas II was not a very good or effective leader and had a very bad, devastating impact on the country. Nick excelled at foreign language and history, but he wasn't very good at political science. Nicholas's grandfather died at age 13, making his young father into king and himself heir to the throne. At the age of 19, Nick joins the army and spends 3 years in the service. He rose through the works and went all the way up to colonel. According to www.bl.uk, on the 26th of November 1896, just days after heiring the Russian throne, following his father Alexander III's death, Nick married German Princess Alexandria. On the same year, they have their coronation to crown him king. During the coronation, a lot of people got trampled to death, and it led a really bad impression on the new czar. They had their first boy, Alexei, who was the heir to the throne, but he had hemophilia, and they hired a guy named Rasputin. And Rasputin was a monk who made the family made the man pretty powerful. In the 1890s, Russia began working westward. Japan did not like them taking the resources, so in 1904, Japan attacked Russia. According to biography.com, by spring 1905, Nicholas' fleet was dismantled in the Battle of Tsushima. In the wake of Russia's defeat, Nicholas II entered peace negotiations with Japan that summer. On January 5th, 1905, there were riots, and troops killed over 1,000 people, and calling it Bloody Sunday. They rioted because Russia's government was very bad, so Nicholas was forced to create a elected legislative government, which was called Duma. According to the USC Digital Library, on October 3rd, 1905, Nick announced his October manifesto agreeing to the constitutional regime requiring Duma's consent for enforcement of laws. Results were prepared to go to war, but they lost the war against Japan 9 years earlier, and Russia just changed their government, and a lot of people were mad, and they weren't ready for World War I. According to Funk and Wagnall's New World Encyclopedia, Nicholas sponsored the Hague Conferences, which created the Permanent Court of Attribution and were the rules for the humane conduct of war. In 1914, in the beginning of World War I, Nick made himself the commander-in-chief, and it was against the advice from all of his peers. It was the first time in 300 years Russia did not have a king on the throne, and it was ran by Alexandria. But Russia had to fight a two-front war, and the first thing they did was help France attack Germany. But Germany surrounded Russia at both fronts, and they completely demolished Russia. Russia mobilized 12 million soldiers, and at the end of World War I, they had 9 million casualties. A lot of Nicholas's generals told him to leave the throne. On March 15th, 1917, Nicholas left the throne, which ended a 300-year-old dynasty. Part of the problem was Alexandria because she kind of fell for Rasputin's ideas, and he wasn't really going to be a good leader anyway. In October, there was a revolution called the October Revolution. Vladimir Lenin created the Bolsheviks. Uh, and the Bolsheviks saw a lot of popularity throughout Russia because they opposed the war, which the war made Russia very weak, and they opposed the Allied powers. Um, they there were riots outside Nicholas's house, and Nicholas left and went outside Russia, but the Bolsheviks found Nicholas and his family, and they executed everyone on July 17th, 1918, and threw him down a mine shaft, which ended a 300-year-old dynasty. According to Matthew De Los Santo, as far as Vladimir Lenin was concerned, the night of July 16th, 1918, significance. The end was not only Nicholas, but it was also an end to Russia's social orders of czars, priests, and peasants. According to Joshua Hammer, actor of Resurrecting the Tsar, the murder of Tsar Nicholas Romanov and the czars resonated throughout Russia's history, and in the spring, the government gets corrupted. Their bodies were found in 1991. Their three daughters were found in 1991 in the mine shafts. There were many reasons why Tsar Nicholas is not a very effective leader, even though he came from a family that had ruled Russia for 3 centuries. His decisions and battles lost during his rule will hopefully be a lesson to the future leaders and chosen to run a whole country and the impact has on the world history.